So I am a Christian hip hop artist and producer. I've been doing it since about 2008. I started freestyle rapping as a teenager, but when I was doing that type of music, it was strictly like for the world. You know what I'm saying? So my grandma had a very difficult time, uh, with all the cursing and everything that was going on in the type of music I was listening to. She would always say, is that rapper saying what I think he's saying? And I'd be like, Grandma, just listen to the beat. And I would always, in my grandma's car, she had a Chrysler Imperial. And I would always, well, she always had a Chrysler. Always got a different Chrysler, but it was always a Chrysler. And in this one particular Chrysler that she had, it had a 5-band EQ. And so I would go through and I would turn the mid-range down and turn the bass up. So you could focus more on the bass, but she could still hear what they were saying. And so, that always stuck with me. And, back at that time, I was living the street life. I was caught up in the street life and stuff like that. And I was idolizing what a lot of these artists rapped about and glorified, and as well as the circle that I was in, the friends that I had. And so, basically, when my grandma went to glory, you know what I'm saying? Like, my grandma was my best friend. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, when I was kind of like battling with the streets and trying to get back into the church swing of things, my grandma became my best friend. I had, how the streets are, like, sometimes even those that are closest to you, sometimes y'all will bump heads. And so, my friends were still very supportive of me wanting to stop smoking weed and stop and leave the street life alone. They were very supportive of that. That's one thing I had to respect, But when I transitioned, not everybody has that same vision. You know what I'm saying? And some people catch on later. Some people just, they wasn't raised up like you were, so they don't have that same vision. And I think that now my friends from that day probably look up to me. I don't know, but I'm saying they probably would look up to me like, wow, now I see what you were getting at. Now I see what you were, you know what I'm saying? And I have a few, I talk to them still, here and there. A lot of my friends from high school and junior high and elementary and stuff like that, a lot of them still kind of doing their thing. Some of them are kind of like, but I feel like we're all kind of like seeing something better, you know what I'm saying, out of life. And so, what I want to do with my page, man, because I was raised up, I know some of that street life. A lot of, I won't say that I was, like one of the hardest street guys. You know what I'm saying? One of the dopest, one of the like, I won't say that I was that, because I really wasn't. But I hung with those that were like, that they were that. You know what I'm saying? I was affiliated with that group. And just being around those type, I was kind of like, I was becoming one of them. And it comes to a point in your life, man, where you gotta, when you see your friends going to jail, people getting killed that and all different stuff, you gotta, it comes to a point in life where you gotta make a decision and a choice, and you gotta say, look, am I really finna be about this life? Or do I, do I want to live? Do I want to get my life back? You know what I'm saying? And because I had my grandmother that was always, my grandmother, my godmother, that were always on me, telling me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, my grandma was like one of her, like her golden child, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so she didn't want anything to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want, I was raised up a straight A student, one of the top 3 students in the school. I just ended up going kind of like getting affiliated with a different crowd. You know what I'm saying? And things went in a direction that I never thought they would go. I wanted to be the president when I was younger. And then as I got older, I really liked NASCAR. But then when I started seeing them I used to think them having reggae, I was like, oh man, that's so cool, because I was a kid. You know, I didn't really understand. To me, it was just cars. But when I got older and realized, wow, there's people in those cars. Like, I didn't want to do NASCAR no more. I was like, oh, that's dangerous. They driving 200 miles an hour. Oh, no. That's so. But yeah, I was raised on Houston, Texas music, Screwed Up Click. So that is the music that, you know, where I get my. I don't want to say where I get my sound from, because I really don't try to copy anybody. But that is where that's not the only music I listen to. Because I listen to stuff on the radio, but that is where a lot of the music that I listen to came from. So I feel like, you know, music is the reason I do music, because music is my stress relief. You know what I'm saying? Music is like poetry, journalism, journaling, testimony. It's a place I can go to when people don't want to hear what I say. Hear what I gotta say. That's cool. I just turn on my microphone and say what I gotta say. Somebody's gonna be able to relate to what I'm saying and what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody out there with a similar walk. There's somebody out there that was like me 10, 15, 20 years ago. And those are the people that I'm talking to. I'm not here to touch everybody. I'm not here to, you know, please any and everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's not my focus. I don't care to do that. Right? So when I do my music, I'm telling a story. So here on my channel, I'm in school for filming. I'm in school for music. I'm in school for marketing. So here on my channel, what I want to do is I want to help people that are like me, people that are headed in my direction, people that want to learn things that I know now and things that I am learning. And somebody that was like me, like I say, 10, 15 years ago, that is trying to get to where I'm at now. Future Christian hip hop artists, future Christian hip hop producers, somebody that wants to learn how to use their own equipment, somebody that wants to learn the details of high quality. I'm big on quality. Like you got so much music out there nowadays, and one of the ways I believe to stand out is to have high quality. Anybody can do a song. Anybody can do music. These people are rapping it, and I'm not downing anybody, but because when I first started, I got several songs where I've only used like a $200, $100 microphone. But I'm saying you got people that are using $100, $200 microphone or cheaper than that, and you got people that are using their phones to record. I've done the same thing. I just try to elevate and step by step grow and grow. You know, you got to invest in yourself. So I buy better equipment. I have way more expensive equipment now. I have Hollywood grade music equipment, a record label grade music equipment. So my level, I just over the years from 2008 all the way to now, I've just, you know, invested. And even before 2008, 2008 is when I started doing the Christian music. But even before 2008, I did freestyle as a team. Like I say, I was raised up on Houston, Texas music. That's just what came with it. In about 2008, early 2009, late 2008, I used to always listen to this station 88.1 KNLE in Austin, Texas. And I ended up calling the general manager one time because he was telling people to call. Ended up calling him and telling him that I want to come down there and volunteer and help, you know what I'm saying? He was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And so I ended up meeting with him. We had lunch, and I asked him when we were having lunch, I said, who sings that song, Are You Confused? And he told me that's a guy that goes by the name Shock the World. And he was like, and that's the guy, because he knew I was trying to start doing Christian music, but I didn't really know what program to use. And because back in the day when we used to rap, I used to have a jam box, not a jam box, but yeah, I used to have a jam box with a built-in microphone, and I had a loud stereo system in the background, and we would just turn that up and record into the microphone on the jam box on the tape. So that was the way that we didn't really know much about like music production and all that. Now that I came into this side of it, 2008, 2009, it's like now my friend DP.S, Shock the World, who was raised in Texas, and then he moved to Vegas. He lived in Vegas pretty much a lot of his life, and he moved back to Texas. And so, you know, Vegas is kind of his home. That's where he was kind of like born, like raised. But yeah, we've done concerts like all over Austin, Texas. We've done concerts in surrounding cities like San Antonio, San Marcos, I mean, you name it, any city surrounding. We were really like building a name for ourselves, building, you know, for ourselves, but we just kind of like came to a standstill. I had children, my friend had children, so it just kind of like things kind of like, you know, things on you go and look at even the major artists. You go and look at a lot of them that were like really big. I don't want to say any names, but a lot of them that were really big, names that you would never think of. They were at the top of their game, and they just hit rock bottom, and they don't even exist anymore, like as far as music goes. And so it happens. It's hard, especially a group. It's hard to keep a group together. I do music as a group, but we also do music solo. Workers for God is the group, but I also do music as a solo artist. You know what I'm saying? So So Jesus Christ, DP.S, these are solo artists, but we also have a group. And at one point in time, there were like, I want to say over 8 people in our group. When we first got started, we were just bringing in people left and right. And so, you know, people come and go. Everybody has different reasons for why. And but yeah, man, I mean, we were really doing things in the Austin area and surrounding cities. We were giving out we had free music on our websites for people to download. We had whenever we would do our concerts, we would give out free CDs. Whenever we saw people just anywhere, we would give out free CDs. And I was the one, my friend used to always get signs made and go and post them, put them in like at a corner store. He would put the sign in the ground, you know, download free music, you know what I'm saying, with our website on it and everything. And I thought he was weird. Not weird, but like I thought what he was doing was weird. I thought that I was like, man, this dude is tripping, putting up these little signs and stuff at the corner store. Man, you gonna get us in trouble. And I failed to realize that he knew what he was doing. He was advertising. He was marketing. I don't know if he knew it or not, but that's what he was doing. I believe he probably did know that's what he was doing. He was marketing. He was advertising, and doing, I mean, promotion. You know what I'm saying? And so we had our own shirts, and I'm gonna get back into the clothing line and all this different type of stuff. It's just what people fail to realize, it takes time, and I want to make sure that it's done correctly. I want to make sure that it's done right. So